All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. Let's take us down to Texas as we're nearly 2 months since those deadly, devastating floods in the hill country of Central Texas. A live picture right there in Austin, as earlier on this week, $40 million was pledged to a new housing fund for Kerr County flood victims, saying the community foundation for the Texas Hill County, as the foundation made the announcement Thursday alongside Governor Greg Abbott following those deadly flooding over the 4th of July weekend. The foundation also said in the first 45 days of the recovery effort, it has granted more than $16 million to more than 50 local nonprofit organizations working directly with flood survivors. Let's take you right now out to Greg Abbott earlier this week making this announcement.
The standard process that we go through in responding to a disaster like this, and then comment about what you guys are doing. So anytime when we see what happened either here in Kerrville or what happened in Hurricane Harvey, name the disaster. The first thing we focus on is saving lives. And that includes the ongoing search and rescue operations. The second thing that we focus on is things like removing debris. Then we work through that process on legislation. And by the way, as we are speaking right now, the Texas House of Representatives has taken up multiple pieces of legislation that fully respond to all the needs of the Kerrville, but also the other areas affected by all of these devastating floods. I am told that just as I arrived here, the Texas House of Representatives passed out of their chamber the camp safety bill to ensure that the camps in the state of Texas will be safer from flooding events that cost lives like this one did. Then all along the way, what's necessary is the rebuilding process. There are so many people who are displaced that we need to be very empathetic to. These are people who lost their home, people who don't have a place to live, people who are waiting to get back into their homes. And we need to really feel the pain that they are struggling through, knowing that they have to get back into their home as quickly as possible. Corresponding to that, we have donors, so many generous people here in the state of Texas who have supported that effort. And they had the donor intent to make sure those dollars are going to be used to get those people back into their homes. To see what you've done today with this announcement of $40 million, to know the extent to which it is going to help people actually get back into their homes. And let's aggregate this together. He talked about this new $40 million grant in addition to more than $15 million already granted. And in addition to that, many of you are familiar with what the George Strait Foundation provided. 2 weeks ago, we handed out checks to people who are homeowners who were very devastated. We'll be back again this coming Saturday to hand out more checks. The first round of checks there were $25,000. There will be more money provided. The point is this. The George Strait Foundation is helping about 75 families, 75 residences be able to be fully paid for the rebuilding process. When you look at the money that the Community Foundation is providing to these other local organizations, in addition to the money that would be available after that, I see no reason whatsoever why all of the residents who lost a permanent residence in this region are not only going to be able to have that permanent residence fully rebuilt, but rebuilt at record speed. There's construction projects going on right now, and this is able to happen because of the charitable donations that have been provided. Let me give you a contrast example, and that is when Hurricane Harvey hit, there were literally hundreds of thousands of homes that were impacted and destroyed, and it was far more than what charitable contributions would be able to pay for. As a result, it got stuck into a process that goes to the federal government, that goes through HUD, and it literally takes years, maybe even a half a decade, to get people back into a permanent residence. What these people at this table are doing, they are ensuring that the people of this community will not be going through that experience. They're getting people back in homes this month, next month, very quickly. And this is not only a record amount of money being provided to local residents, I think it's going to be a record speed at which these homeowners are going to be able to get back into their homes. And so I just wanted to be here and say, Austin, thank you for your leadership of this, but also for everybody at this table who will be the local partners involved in the process of making sure that this community is going to be able to execute on the promise of these funds to get into the hands of all the right people to ensure that everybody who is displaced from a permanent residence will be able to get back into that home as quickly as possible. So thank you for doing such a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Now I'd like to introduce Lucy Harmon, who's the superintendent of Hunt ISD, who's seen firsthand some of the impact of Community Foundation grants up to this point. Lucy.
Thank you, Austin. I first want to echo Governor Abbott's comment about the speed of the Community Foundation. Austin and the Community Foundation have been trusted partners and members of our community for a long time. So personally, as a resident of the area, after this tragic flood, when I saw their flood relief fund that was stood up so quickly, it brought me peace to be able to tell people, oh, that's where you send your money. And so I appreciate the quick thinking, the quick action of the Community Foundation in that effort. In the fast-paced 6 or 7 weeks that have followed, the Community Foundation has been there for us time and time again. Our students and families are facing incredible challenges right now, but I do want to tell you the support we've received from the Community Foundation and others has been unbelievable, and it's been very meaningful. I do really great when I'm just pressing on in my day. When I have to stop and think about how blessed we've been with the people that have supported us, it does tend to choke me up, so I will move on. The support for this housing recovery initiative will be very impactful for us as educators. Our students thrive when their housing situation is under control, when they're in their homes and their homes are stable. And so we appreciate this effort because it really supports our students and our families in a meaningful way. We're grateful for the generosity from the Community Foundation that we've all experienced so far. I can tell you personally, I serve on the Community Allocation Committee for the Hunt Preservation Society, and I see several of my fellow committee members here, and I know they would echo the same sentiment. We were so grateful to receive $300,000 from the Community Foundation. We were able early to host an event at the Hunt School that offered resources to our families and our residents that had been displaced or received flood damage, and we were able to immediately put funds in their hands. And that was not only such a joy to be a part of, but it meant so much to them. They were just so touched by the fact that they were able to walk away from that event with immediate funds to help them get started. So we were appreciative for that. In addition to that, if you've never been to Hunt, it is not an incorporated city, and so it has a community water system. The school district used to work off of a well system, which you can imagine is a disaster when trying to ensure that water safety for children. And so we transitioned to be a part of the water group, the community water system there in Hunt, quite a few years back. And so this $370,000 the Community Foundation has done in support of our water system is not just important for the community, important for the school, but it is it's what we really needed at a time that we needed. And so we appreciate that, because anything that can help us with that infrastructure is powerful. I'm excited about the $500,000 grant that the Hunt Preservation Society is receiving. Again, if you've never been to Hunt, we have 4 buildings. We have the volunteer fire department, we have the school, we have the Hunt store, and we have the post office. We now do not have the Hunt store or the post office. Both were devastated in the flood. And so this $500,000 is going to a community center that will be placed in that central part of town. It will serve as a gathering spot for us. It will serve as a temporary post office. That's a big deal for us. We're currently driving at least 45 minutes round trip to even collect mail if the traffic's good. And so these things will not only be convenient, but it's just a real morale booster for the community to have those things back. My students, several of my older students would commonly walk to the Hunt store after school and hang out waiting for parents, and they've lost that. And so we've also talked about that community center having like a student center in it where kids can hang out in that transition time, and that will be so meaningful to every single community member and every single student at Hunt School. So we're so appreciative for that grant. Then finally, we did receive a little bit of flood damage at the Hunt School. In addition to that, we immediately turned the Hunt School into a recovery and response responders support center. And so we operated 4 or 5 weeks housing responders, K-9 units, all kinds of things, feeding them. And so it took a little bit to pivot from a recovery center to a school, and the Community Foundation was there with whatever we needed, and we appreciated that support. We were able to open school yesterday. We are having day 2. Day 1 was very successful. We are on day 2, and so we appreciate that. Our classrooms do not smell like K-9 units anymore, and all of this is thankful to the Community Foundation for their support in this effort. The Community Foundation, I want you to know, is making a real tangible difference for our students, our schools, and both Ingram and Hunt schools and our families. Together, we're going to ensure that children can focus on learning and healing while their families can rebuild their lives. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. I'd now like to introduce Bobby Templeton, who's the former superintendent of Ingram ISD, and he's the chairman of the West Kerr Chamber of Commerce. Bobby.
Thank you. Governor Abbott, thank you for being here, sir. It's an honor getting to sit up here with you. It really is. As someone who's worked alongside families and first responders and nonprofits for years, I can tell you that these grants make a huge difference. They not only support the people who protect us, they take care of our families, they take care of our parents. And in just 6 weeks, millions of dollars have gone straight into our immediate relief. And I want everybody to know that when you hear things like that, that is not just a number on a page. Each of those dollars represent a face. They represent a parent. They represent a grandmother, maybe, who is taking care of 3 or 4 kids. They represent a single mother. They represent people who struggle every day just to pay the bills. So when we talk about relief, we are talking about actual human relief. Austin, thank you very much. From my perspective as the West Kerr chair, I cannot tell you how important the Community Foundation has been for our recovery. We did have quite a bit of damage. One of our buildings was completely lost. We had to relocate some of our operations. Our security fencing was torn down. We have several $1 million worth of damage. And a couple of days after this happened, I got a few calls. I got a few calls from the state. I got a few calls from law enforcement, first responders. But one of those calls came from Austin. Thank you, Austin. And he didn't ask what was going on. He knew. He just said, what do we need to do? And I started to explain what he could do. And he said, wait a minute, I'm on my way. Let me drive out there. Meet me in about 20 minutes. So 20 minutes later, he was there. And it was like a breath of fresh air. We felt so dejected. We felt helpless. We felt things that I've never felt before. And there's a few seminal moments throughout this tragedy that have really helped us feel whole again. And one of those seminal moments was my conversation with Austin Dixon when he said, the Community Foundation is going to be here. We are going to take care of you. We've got this. And out in the middle of a big debris field, you actually saw 2 grown men out there hugging. And so I just want to say thank you to that. Throughout this, somebody asked me earlier, said, how do you feel about all this? And the word that I gave off the cuff kind of was inspired. Although it's really sad, it's tragic. We have families that have lost everything. We have teachers that have lost everything, community members. But for me, the thing that strikes home most is just how inspiring this is. There is what I'm calling a uniquely American spirit that kind of runs through all of this. One of my jobs in the few days after this happened was delivering food. And I had the privilege of delivering food to first responders from all over the country, Michigan, Indiana, Arizona. I even delivered some food to the Mexican Navy. And I didn't even know Mexico had a Navy. But it was so inspiring, and I've never been so proud to be an American for all of these people just to show up to help a tiny little fly speck of a town they've never heard of, people they don't know. One of these days, I hope we in the West Kerr community are able to load up a bus and go help somebody someplace else. So it's been very, very inspiring. You know, and we're going to hear this over and over, that the road is long and it's, you know, it's not a short turnaround. But we are already starting to see a really big crisis in terms of housing. So many of the people that we deal with, Lucy and I in our school and in West Kerr County, are very poor. They don't have 2 nickels to rub together, and when you give them $5,000, it is like giving some of us $50,000. It's just unbelievable. And to see the look on those people's faces when you're able to give them some money, and not only give them money, but give them hope and give them a future, it is probably one of the coolest things that I've ever experienced. And I thank you for that. I cannot tell you how proud I am to be an American and how proud I am to be a Texan through all of this, and how proud I am to be part of the Kerrville and West Kerr community. We're a special lot, I've learned. And one thing one of our coaches told me and keeps telling me over and over, and I'm going to tell it to everybody, and that is this: we got this. We got it.
Thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome.
I'd now like to introduce Christoph Gorder, who is the Executive Director of Airbnb.org. The Community Foundation, as a part of its housing commitment, has made a $1.6 million grant to Airbnb.org to make short and long-term housing available immediately for local families. Christoph will tell you more about how this collaboration will work and what Airbnb.org has already been up to in Texas. Christoph.
Great, thanks Austin, and thank you all for having me here today. We are honored and grateful to play a small role in the recovery here and be part of this community. I lead an independent nonprofit called Airbnb.org, which was founded by Airbnb about 5 years ago to help leverage the Airbnb platform of millions of Airbnbs around the world and house people in times of need. And so we work around the world, and when we saw the tragic events happen here on July 4th, the team swung into action, and we started working with local nonprofits and state agencies to offer up free Airbnbs to community members who'd been displaced. And so over the course of the last 6 weeks, we've housed about 350 community members and first responders here in this community for free as part of our work in doing rapid response. And it's been our honor to be able to do this. Working with the Community Foundation now, we're able to go even further and provide longer term stays for the families who really need it the most. And so we're really excited to be able to announce and launch this partnership with the Community Foundation to be able to reach and provide housing stability for a large number of families across the area. The way this works is Airbnb, as a donor to us, covers all of our operating expenses and waives all of the Airbnb fees. And so what that means is that the donation now from the Community Foundation, 100% of that will be used to pay for Airbnbs here in the community. And what that means is it'll have a double impact, not only housing families in need, but all of that money will go to pay Airbnb hosts here in the community who are suffering because of the lack of tourism and other economic impacts that you're having here. So we're going to have a double impact here, not just helping the families, but also helping the economy and small business owners who rely on their Airbnbs for their livelihoods and to pay their mortgages. And so 100 cents on the dollar are going to go straight through, and they're going to stay right here in this community in the 3 counties around here. We would never be able to do this without the trust and the professionalism and the partnership of the Community Foundation. I will tell you, I've been in disaster response for 25 years. We responded to 40 disasters around the world just this year. The amazing job that this Community Foundation is doing is really, really world class. We do not most communities don't have the good fortune of having such a great asset in their community to be able to do this, to be able to bring partners to the table, to be creative in solutions like we're going to be with Airbnbs or with the schools. And it's just our honor to be able to play a small role in this. For families who need help, you can go to rebuildkerr.org and register there your need for housing, and there's a lot of other resources there. A caseworker will reach out to you within a week and start the process, and we will help find you a place to stabilize and help you recover from this tragic event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cecilia. Part of housing recovery is about temporary housing assistance while people need to take a breath and figure out what's next for them, or while their home is being worked on. And our next speaker is a local builder and a grantee partner of the Community Foundation, Katie Culver, who is a part owner of Kerrville Design Build, and they are part of literally building homes as we speak. They have been in the work for several weeks. We are honored to put gas in their tank and help them keep going. And we'd love to hear from Katie about what they've been up to and the difference they're making in our community. Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Culver with Kerrville Design Build. Thank you, Governor Abbott, for being here today. Thank you, Austin. The last few weeks, the last 6 weeks have been a whirlwind, and we've been down there. We've been able to really start helping people immediately. We have an incredible team. We got hooked up with a great family. And with the fund given by the Community Foundation, we're able to help them tremendously. Our goal is to bring hope to people. We have vetted subcontractors that are coming in and donating. We have licensed electricians, plumbers, people that know what they're doing, helping families down here. And that's so important. It's important to pour the money into the locals that need it. And we're there, and we're so excited to see the community get hope and start to really getting rebuilt. This is truly a gift, and we are so grateful. We're not just rebuilding structures, we're rebuilding lives. And to get to be a part of this, to get to watch this firsthand is such a blessing. And again, we're just so grateful for getting to do this and getting to do this the right way. So these families feel that they're in a safe place, a place that has been done by people who really know what they're doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie. Some people have wondered where the philanthropy is going, and it's coming through the Community Foundation and directly out into the community already. Hammers are swinging, homes are being built. The homeowners that Katie mentioned are with us today, and I hope some of you will get to talk to them later about their personal experience and what they've gone through. We feel for you, we're praying for you, and we're gonna rebuild your home. And while you're one family, there's so many others that need this hope and this gift, and we'll be there for them too. And we look forward to standing with you. Thank you. I'd like to thank again the Governor of the state of Texas, Governor Abbott, for being with us today, for championing local philanthropy and local solutions to crisis and disaster response. We are proud of the work we have done. We are proud to be Texans, and we are proud to deliver results for our neighbors, building a new community for today and tomorrow. Neighbors helping neighbors, this is what it's all about. This is the power of philanthropy to deliver results for our community, and this is what Texans do for one another. I have never been more proud to be a Texan than in the past 7 weeks. Please visit rebuildkerr.org for more information on all of the grants that we have made, including grantee name, grant purpose, and dollar amount. If you are affected by the floods in our area, please complete the needs assessment. If you have not done so already, raise your hand. We need to hear from everybody We cannot help you unless you raise your hand and say, I need help. The needs assessment collects critical information that will be used by our nonprofit and builder partners to connect with you and get you the hope that we promise and that we will deliver. If you are a nonprofit organization locally, at the state level, or nationally, and you would like to be involved, visit rebuildkerr.org and fill out our resource assessment. There we are taking an inventory of every organization that wants to raise its hand and get involved in the rebuilding of Kerr County. Thank you all for being here today. God bless you, and God bless Texas.